You're welcome to Hero Hub podcast, and today we'll be looking at how I won the procrastination battle and how you too can win the procrastination battle. It's a common phenomenon. A lot of people are struggling with doing things they know they should have done, and I'm not sure it has to do with personality. It just happens, okay? So, what's procrastination? You have urgent task, but you end up not doing it. You have urgent tasks, but you keep postponing it. You have things to do, but you just keep filing it and filing it. And at some point, we file so much away that at the end of the day, we're just confused and we don't know where to start from. And this has serious dangers. Okay, we procrastinate in the area of our health, vision, businesses. There are a lot of things we know we should do that should move us ahead, but for certain reasons we end up not doing it. And truly, it's not helpful. It can rob you of so much opportunity. It actually did rob me of so much opportunities. It can actually sabotage your goals. I remember those days where they said, when you enter a new year and people are so excited about setting goals. I always used to set goals every year. And after setting those goals, I just file them and I never get to do them. And I get to the end of the year and I find out that nothing was accomplished, okay? Because I just never focused on working on what I wrote down. I just kept postponing and postponing and planning to never getting it done, okay? So it sabotages your goal. You keep shifting the deadline and all time and all that. So you find yourself, you sometimes you lose time, and basically it actually makes you stagnated. It brings stagnation. Okay. So if you're struggling with this, I know it's something we can deal with, and I want to share with you some steps that can help you beat it. It's not something you can just overcome immediately, but if you start with little things, then you can learn how to deal with huge level of procrastination. Okay, so I believe the first step is to find out, why do I procrastinate? And I found out that okay, for me I had four basic reasons, but there are a lot more. I'm going to mention like five or six. Okay, so for me the basic thing was just fear of the unknown. Okay, you procrastinate things you've not done before, and you're like, how is this going to come out? You're not sure. What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if people criticize? That's fear. And why think like that? So for what if it works? What if it wins? Okay, so that's number one, fear. So find out what is making you procrastinate. Is it fear? Then two, it could I found out that another reason is a lack of skill or knowledge. And it's something I know I need to do, but I don't know how to. So it just scares me, and I really don't bother. I'm just like, okay, don't worry, I'll do this in November, I'll do this in January, and time keeps going, and before you know it, the year has gone. So you need to find out, is it lack of skill? Then we deal with it, okay? Now, sometimes the next could be lack of resources. Number three, you don't have what it takes. It could be funds, whatever it is, and just postpone it and file it. I keep saying file, because that's what most of us do. And by the time you bring out the sheet, like I take a lot of notes, I'm like, wow, there's a lot I've filed, and I'm yet to attend to, and so it can become stressful and all that. Then the next one is lack of discipline. Okay, we just don't, we're not in the mood. We just can't just discipline ourselves, to get the things off our plate and get it done. Then sometimes emotional issues can lead to procrastination. You're not happy, and you're just, if you're emotional, I'm not sure you'll be interested in looking at things or attending to issues on your plate. So emotional issues, can be a problem that we need to look into. Then fatigue, stress can knock you out. So, I've listed all these things. So it's good you know exactly what is it that is making me procrastinate in whatever area you need action, and we deal with those things one after the other. So to tell you how bad procrastination is, imagine if Jesus procrastinated going to the cross. Imagine if he procrastinated going to the wedding. That miracle would not have happened. Imagine if he procrastinated going to the temple, a lot of people will not have been healed. So you may think that your procrastination it's a minor thing. It's not, because your action also has effects on your immediate environment, your family, your place of work, your business, your turnover. It affects a lot of things at the long run. Imagine if Joshua procrastinated taking the people to the promised land. I wonder what would have happened to God's purpose. The same thing with David. When it was time to take out Goliath, imagine if he kept telling himself stories and all that. It wouldn't have been done. The same thing with Esther. The Jews would have been wiped out, and Abraham, when God asked him to leave Haran and get into Canaan, or I'm sure I don't know what kind of story we'll be telling now, because you would not have gotten the blessing and all that. So just know that any action you procrastinate has a negative cost on your life, has a negative impact on your immediate environment, has a negative influence on the people around your circle, has a negative impact on the vision you're working on and all that. So we need to work on it. So quickly, how did I learn to beat procrastination? Number one, I learned how to start learning how to work on goals, which I'm going to treat in another podcast, how to work on goals and win with goals. I have an ebook on that. If you're interested, you can get it, and it's going to help you. Okay, you can actually set goals and win with them. I told you the story of how I was always frustrated. I set goals in January. By the time I get to December, not even one of those goals have been accomplished. And then I hear people telling me that by June that they had accomplished almost all their goals, and I get angry. But so there's a secret to goal setting and all that. So procrastination is also what affects you from achieving your goals. So the first thing you need to do to beat procrastination is that you have to get a notebook, or maybe you can use your iPad or whatever. You must start making plans. So list those tasks or the goals and have an action plan. Don't plan in your head, okay? I used to plan in my head. It will give you a headache. So what you need to do is you pick up a project you want to do. Now, why you procrastinate sometimes is that you don't know how to do it. So put the project there, or the title, then list out what are the possible steps of achieving it. You can put down 20 things. Brian Tracy said list 10 steps and look at the 10 steps, then arrange them in the order of priority, then choose the one you can start with immediately and start working on it. This, it's goal setting and beating procrastination is a skill you have to work on. Okay, so you start working on them one after the other, and before you know it, you've worked on the most important things on that your list. So that's one. You must list those your tasks and start making actionable plan. You have to learn how to plan. You have to write down steps to achieve that task or that goal so that it becomes clearer to you. The Bible says in Habakkuk chapter 2 that you should write the vision down and make it plain so that whoever runs with sees it can run with it. So if you don't write the vision down, one, make it plain, you cannot see it and you cannot run with it. So that's basically number one way to beat procrastination. Two, you need to start learning how to set goals, and you need to start loving goals if you must win procrastination. So you can actually set, those things you're procrastinating about, as minor as they can be. Maybe it could be, I want to drink water every day. Set it as a goal. Okay, every day I'm going to drink 5 liters of, 3 liters of water. I'm going to work out for 1 hour. I'm going to do marketing for 2 hours. There are so many things you can do, so set them as goals, daily goals, hourly goals, and all that. Okay, so the next things I've discussed, I said one, you need to start learning how to plan, list those tasks and write the plans. Then two, start getting interested in goal setting, because there are different approaches to goal setting. It's something you have to master. Then number three, okay, you need to find out the reason why you're procrastinating so that you checkmate it completely. So initially I said you must identify, it could be external factors, it could be internal factors. So identify what your constraint is, what is limiting you. So if it's fear of the unknown, okay, so what are you afraid of? Okay, is it fear of failure? We need to understand that failure is actually the key to success. Abraham Lincoln, read their stories. Somebody said, I can't, well, he said, the faster you fail, that is the faster you succeed, because you learn more how to make this work and how to make it not to work. So he said the more you increase your failure rate, the more you increase your chances of succeeding. Because if you don't try and fail, then how is it going to work? And they also what's the probability that if you do it, you succeed? So try it, do it. If it fails, learn that this method doesn't work and this is the next way to do it. So you keep trying, you keep trying. So we're not supposed to fear failure. We're supposed to love failure because it's going to provide us with a lot more opportunities on how to get those things done and succeed in them. Okay, so so that's number one. Deal with your fear. Deal with your fear. Face it, accept it, embrace it, and all that. So secondly, you will check out if the issue is a skill issue. Okay, I know there were some times I used to procrastinate. I didn't know why, but I now found out it was because I didn't have the skill. I didn't know how to do that. So learn it. You can go to YouTube. There are a lot of videos there on how to learn the skills you need. You can actually check out a lot of podcasts, on how to learn, work on the skills you need. So get out there. Okay, it may be resources. So if it comes to resources, I don't have the resources, then think of partnership. Okay, there are people that are out there that are willing to fund you if they believe that your vision, is laudable. So it's something you need to look at. Okay, who can I share this vision with and all that. So that's it for needed resources. Then if it's an emotional issue, you also need to treat the emotional issue, because the reason why people have emotional issues is because they have a wrong perception of the issue, and that's the truth. Okay, so you need to find out, anything can happen to anybody, but it's the way you accept it or the way you treat the circumstance that affects how you feel. So if you thank God for what has happened, and you trust him that he's working on it, you leave it for him and you move ahead of it, and move ahead with your life, and it doesn't affect you. You find out that most of the things you burden yourself with emotionally, the truth is that you cannot do anything about it and it weighs you down. So why don't you just leave it for God to work on, or seek some kind of support? Okay, so I guess in the future we'll share steps on how to actually deal with emotional issues and come out of depression. Then you can also look at discipline. Okay, I used to have discipline problem, and for anybody that procrastinates obviously has discipline problems, because number one, you find it hard to take decisions. I used to postpone taking decisions. I used to postpone taking decisions because every decision you take has implications. But you need to grow up to the point where you know that I'm ready to bear the consequences of my decisions. Okay, yeah. So you need to be disciplined enough to be able to take decisions on time. Okay, to take decision, be disciplined enough to take action on time, and be disciplined enough to be determined to keep working and be persistent on this until the result you're seeking actually works out. Okay, so that's the third one. I think fifth one. So you need to work on your discipline. Okay, so that's just it. Then you also need to motivate yourself. Most of us have a lot of negative talks in our minds. We so talk ourselves down that at the end of the day, you're not able to do anything. They call it imposter syndrome. And you're like, who told you can do this? Who told you can do this? Who told you they will listen to you? Who told you they will like, who is the person telling you what's the problem? Okay, so you need to motivate yourself and, start giving yourself some pep talks. I can do this. I know I can do this. I'm made for more. Call yourself by name. Jenny, Irene, I can do this. Timothy, I know I can do this. I'm made for more. I can do this. I have the capacity. And the more you talk to yourself, the more you take on that picture, the more you take on that nature. So motivate yourself and tell yourself, I can do this. I will pick up the capacity to do this. It was Brian Tracy that said, all skills are learnable. All skills are learnable. So what you need to do is, even if you feel you cannot do it, tell yourself you can do it. Go get the skill, learn it, and begin to do it. Okay. Then number six, you can also use technology to help you. I had to start leveraging on technology to help me. You can get busy with a lot of activities. Okay, so what I do is you can get some reminder apps, note-taking apps that remind you to do what you need to do. And when those alarms beep, please get up and do what you need to do. It's been very helpful to me. You set reminders for the weekend, set reminders for the week, set reminders for the morning, set reminders for the night. And once that reminder comes on, wake up and tell yourself, get up and do this thing. Then number seven is that you have to learn to be accountable. Okay, so you can can join a mastermind group, or just call two of your friends and say, look, I'm working on this project. What are you working on? What are you working on? Okay, let's help get ourselves accountable, set deadlines and timelines, and you come together and meet over lunch. You can do it over WhatsApp call. You can do it over Zoom call, whatever platform you guys choose. Okay, you just come together, review what you have done, and learn how others are also achieving their goals and beating procrastination. These are the things that I've done that has worked for me. And what I found out is that there's always great joy. Those things you thought you were going to fail in, it's a lie. You don't fail. And even if you fail, you learn and keep making progress and you keep succeeding. So I want to challenge you. Do 3 things for me. Please, do 3 things for me. And one of them is that, number 1, write out that thing you have been planning to do, that you've been postponing to do, you've been procrastinating. Write that goal, write that vision, write that task down. Put it down on paper. Okay, that's 1. Then 2, I want you to visualize, okay, if this thing happens in my life the way I want it, how will my life be? And as you visualize it, I want you to feel the joy that comes with it. Paint the best picture you have whatsoever. Then 3, I want you to put your faith into action and start working on those things you've written. Just one thing, please, as I'm talking to you, just put it down. It could be to lose weight. It could be to start a new business. It could be to, start a marketing campaign. It could be to, whatever it is you've been procrastinating. Maybe start a coaching class, start a podcast, start monetizing one of your giftings. Okay, just list what it will take you to do that. Then remember, I said you must get training, because whatever we procrastinate on, sometimes we don't have the skill to engage in it. That's why we keep pushing it aside. So make a plan to learn the skill that you will need to get to the end or achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve. I hope you've learned a lot from all I said, and I want to encourage you to get this going and keep winning.